Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. We don't have a whole lot to talk about today, but we do have a couple interesting stories. So in the first update of the day, this is the latest from Hunter Labrada. I believe we're around 20 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. Now, Hunter took the whole year off to strictly focus on this year's Olympia, and he isn't a guy that seems like he improves as the season go on. You know, we've seen Hunter compete in Chicago in the past 2 years, and I feel like both of those versions were better than the versions he would bring to the Olympias later that year. So we're probably going to see the best version of Hunter Labrada to date. Now, the more I see Hunter's physique, the more that I like it. This guy is big, great proportions, comes in pretty conditioned. He just always seems to be a bit watery. And Hunter was still able to place fourth at the Mr. Olympia despite being off. So where does a own Hunter Labrada place at the Mr. Olympia? Does he move up from fourth place? Now, speaking of fourth place, if he wants to move up, he's going to have to get past this guy, Hadi Choopan. Now, my last news video, I asked you guys, how do you guys feel about Hadi's physique? Do you guys think he can win the Olympia? And about 80% of you guys said yes. It was pretty much split between Hadi hasn't won because of politics and Hadi hasn't won just because of the size. Now, if you guys remember at last year's Mr. Olympia, Hadi came in very, very conditioned on the first day of the show, but he was so small, he was actually looking like he was getting compared for 6th or 7th. Not sure if you guys remember that in prejudging, Hadi was not in that top call-out with Big Ramy or Brandon Curry. He was actually being compared around 5th or 6th place probably. But the next day, him and Honey Rambo realized that this wasn't a conditioning show, and Hadi came in a lot bigger. And pretty much everyone who actually comes to the Olympia and watches Hadi competes, they say if he would have came in on the first day, like the second day, he would have won. But it's always hard for Hadi just to nail that balance of coming in full and condition. He probably doesn't have to worry about coming in condition too much. Hadi has been the most conditioned guy pretty much in the entire IFBB since he stepped foot in it. So Hadi should just do his best to come in full, but also not having the midsection protrude, because I think Hadi is a guy that can't really put too much size onto this structure. And in the next update of the day, you guys are very potentially looking at the winner for the 2022 Texas Pro, Steve Kuclo. Out of the dark into the light, Steve has announced he was doing his show, but he's been pretty much keeping everything under wraps. No physique updates at all, pretty much just training footage. First update I've seen of him, and he does look incredible. Steve still seems like he needs to fill up the gap a little bit more between his legs, but this guy is going to come in crazy condition. Once again, Steve is a guy they say they want to see him more conditioned. He comes in more conditioned, they want to see him more full. So, he just has to find that perfect balance. Steve is an incredible bodybuilder. I'm excited to see this guy hop on stage. He's going to be one of the biggest guys on that stage. And the next update of the day, this is the latest from Bonac. Now, huge props to Bonac for posting this shot, because this isn't the best shot for him. He's a narrow guy, doesn't necessarily have the smallest waist, but William is looking incredible, feeling incredible. Great arms. He does have a slight imbalance, but granted, most people do have. Going into this year's Mr. Olympia, I'm really rooting for William Bonac. And William isn't going to just completely destroy guys in the upper body, but he has a great lower body as well. And William is able to beat guys that probably have a smaller waist than him or that are better structurally just by his crazy round muscle bellies. Probably the best back double biceps top to bottom in the men's open division currently. In the next update of the day, this is the latest from Blessing Awodibu at about 19 or 20 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. Now, Blessing has a very, very bold prediction. He believes that this year's Mr. Olympia, he is going to be center stage, right in between Big Ramy and Brandon Curry. What do you guys think about that? And Blessing Awodibu also says that Brandon has a way better physique than Big Ramy. It's about structure, it's about mass with class. It isn't just about packing on as much muscle as possible. I'll let you guys in the comment section below, honestly, truly, tell me what you guys think about that. I have a lot to say, but I'll let you guys talk about that. Blessing definitely had two incredible packages in the beginning of the season, winning the New York Pro as well as the Indy Pro. The win in Indy, he got it, but I do feel like it was very, very close between him and Charles Griffin. Going into this year's Mr. Olympia, Blessing definitely has to bring the legs up before he's a true top threat. And next up in the news, on the left is Hassan Mostafa at 20 weeks out from the Orlando Pro, and on the right is him 20 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. This was posted up by his coach AJ Sims or Cement Factory. So as you guys can see on the left, what he was able to transform Hassan's body into by the Puerto Rico Pro, actually, they peaked earlier than the Orlando Pro. What is he going to be able to do with Hassan in 20 weeks from the Mr. Olympia? And this was actually at 3 days out from the Orlando Pro. Also, how do you guys think Hassan would do at this year's Mr. Olympia? Is he a potential top 6 guy, 6'7", or is he a guy around that top 10 area? Hassan definitely made incredible improvements since last year, and I still think he deserves a bit more praise. And the next update of the day, these are the latest updates from Kamal Elgargni ahead of this weekend's Tampa Pro. Actually, next weekend's Tampa Pro. Kamal honestly looks saran wrapped. This looks unbelievable. The skin is so tight, and this guy is 50 years old, man. Incredible. Now, a lot of people put him before Dexter. You know, he's able to outage Dexter, but you guys have to remember, Kamal is competing in the 212 division, so I feel like he's able to go a little longer, you know, because he didn't have to push up to like 250, maybe 260 like Dex had to in the offseason. But Kamal looks incredible. The only thing holding him back against the main top three is just genetics. You know, structurally, Derek Lunsford and Sean Clarito are just a little bit better. Kamal brings the conditioning, incredible back, and at 50 years old, definitely an incredible package. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, do you guys think the 212 class should be phased out? Now, when I first heard this statement, I was completely against it because I completely love this class. But something someone mentioned, if 212 was to phase out, the prize money could go to the open division. So I'm looking at it as the open guys, especially guys that are placing 10th and lower, can still get paid. Because I'm not sure if they get paid at all, and if they do, it's little to nothing. Everyone has to work very hard to get to the Mr. Olympia. So everyone on the Olympia stage getting a bigger check would be pretty good. But what do you guys think about that? Because not a lot of the guys can compete in 212. You know, maybe the top 5 or the top 8 can be competitive. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we keep 212? You know, should we scratch it and send the money over to the open division? I actually want to have a conversation on this. And in the next update of the day, this is the latest from Michal Krizo. Not a big update, but this guy has some incredible arms. And pretty much since he announced he's going to be in the NPC, he's been the talk of the bodybuilding world. Just me personally playing it safe, I'm saying he could place around top 10 because I really want him to actually earn that. You know, prior to him coming over, he was really talking down on a lot of our bodybuilders. So I want to see him on stage against them. Some people said he can possibly battle it out with Big Ramy. Some people said, you know, he's guaranteed top 3, top 6. The excitement is so high, man. How is Michal Krizo going to do at the Mr. Olympia? I'm excited to see this guy compete. And ending this video with Rafael Brandão, who is still making improvements in his offseason. And once again, as I've said numerous times, going into this year's Mr. Olympia, this guy and Samson Dowda, they're going to make some noise. 2 of the most shapely guys, best structures that we have in the open class. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. I know it wasn't much as usual, but hopefully I made it a bit interesting for you guys. If you haven't done so already, be sure to drop a like on the video. Likes are more important than anything on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.